I like swords. Hello there, everybody. Today is the tips and tricks for the lookout role in Town of Salem. Now, what the lookout role can do is they can actually watch a person at night and see who visits them. So likely if the person should die the day after, you'll know that the person who visited them was a murderer, and you can hopefully get them lynched. Now, as a lookout, I'm going to state this once, right? You're not as valuable to the town as some of the other roles like jailer or mayor. So a trade for you for one of the mafia is a totally acceptable thing. It's even more acceptable if it's an arsonist or a serial killer. So don't worry about getting attacked. It's very unlikely to actually happen. The mafia actually go after somebody else. So revealing to town to try and prove your point is a very good idea. Although I wouldn't advise doing this on the first night because people will think you're an executioner. So, what can you do with a lookout to sort of gain an edge in your investigative abilities? Well, you're going to have to use whispers to your advantage and find out what actually happened to people when people visited them. Say you click on somebody and they were visited by one guy, but nothing happened. If they say, well, nothing happened, I wasn't roadblocked, I wasn't doing anything, this could mean one of two things. They're either a doctor or a consigliere, or quite possibly another investigative role from the town. However, things like this are not good enough evidence to get people hung on, so please don't try and do it that. However, if they were roadblocked, you then know who a roadblocker is. If it's possible there's a consort and impossible as an escort, it's going to be a very good idea for you to get them lynched. However, if they are possibly an escort and a consort at the same time, you may want to do a little more detective work. Say, get get one of your investigative buddies to actually look at them, but it will draw attention on them, which is pretty good anyway. Consorts can be found by sheriffs, and investigators will just get the same thing. But obviously, if somebody was doused or murdered, then they're pretty much a free game. Get them lynched if you can. Don't act a bit too lynch happy. People may think you're a mafia or an executioner. Okay, so another thing you can learn is casual language in the actual day chat. If you know that somebody actually visited somebody and you're not in a position where it's good to reveal, then you can sort of listen out for what people say in chat. Most people are happy to say what happened to them on night unless they're evil. Most evil people won't say if anything happened to them on the night. So if you know that somebody visited a person and they say nothing about it, even if you ask them, say basically, hey bud, did anything happen to you last night? They say no, then it's a little bit awkward. They may be a good idea just to look at them a bit more. Now, this is something key. If you work with a spy, the lookout and spy make a very deadly duo. See, the spy knows if mafia visit people, and you know who have visited people. So, say if the spy knows that somebody is visiting Jimmy every night, and he knows if you're a lookout, then basically work together. See who that person is who's visited them, and you can tag team a possible blackmailer or a consort, somebody who's doing things evilly. Okay, finally, something pretty cool is if you know that somebody's not being harmed, yet they're being visited repeatedly, go ahead and make yourself an innocent list. People who are actually innocent. Don't mark down their actual roles, right? What you want to do is you want to put in your will everyone who is innocent. This can help town save a lot of time trying to find evil roles, because it will discount people from the investigations, and it will increase the percentage of finding a mafia through a random lynch or just an informed lynch, really. Okay, so another thing I want to talk to you about is you can't use the lookout to find disguises like the spy can. If two people visit the first same person, it could really be another town member. If somebody else dies on the other side of the screen, it could be transporters, it could be witches. It's not a good idea to try and call people out for being a disguiser when you're a lookout. Just wanted to point that out there. Oh, one last thing. Lookouts are very good for finding arsonists, because if you say you've got like 5 people left and you have to find an arsonist, and you keep looking at people, if somebody should target themselves, it's incredibly likely that they're arsonist. It would take a transporter to make somebody else target themselves and not die. So basically, use the lookout to its fullest potential in finding the arsonist, and ignore the other killing roles at the time if you can, because that is how you will shine. Okay, guys, this has been tips and tricks. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.